Hey everybody, welcome to GTO Charts. Really excited to be bringing you this video showcasing our new partner GTO Wizard. That's what you see down below is GTO Wizard. Let's just go to the front screen. At the top there's a video I recorded previously on GG Poker, just playing some 10NL I think. And what I'm going to do is just go through some of my hands that I played and try and analyze if the plays I made were lined up with GTO, whether they were GTO optimal or not. And this is not going to be too high level, and just to give you an idea of how good the Wizard is. There's a lot to it, and there's solutions. You can play versus the GTO in all different scenarios. You can upload your hands. Range builders, there's aggregated reports, and so on and so forth. So I do not know it all at the moment. So I'm just going to have a look at solutions and a couple of spots and just give you a general idea of what it can do in analyzing your hands and giving you a good idea of how you should be playing. First thing to note is you can pick your game type. So we're doing cash, 6 max, 100 big blind. NL, let's pick NL50. The rake is designed around NL50. This is NL10, but as close as we can get. And general, types general meaning, well, if you see that change down below there, it's all spots. 5% rake with 4 BB cap rake. Excuse me. There's others like 2.5, that's only pre-flop only. So same as general, but every player opens pre-flop to 2.5x. Complex, so on and so forth. Again, I don't understand it all at the moment. So let's just stick with what I do understand and try and analyze some hands. So we're going to have NL50, general, 100, and we're going to pick either from here, solutions, which is study any spot you want. So let's click on that. And as you see, a very nice interface in front of you, very colorful at least. And we will just try and pick up the spots. But first let me explain, here are the positions: under the gun, hijack, cutoff, button, small blind. You start under the gun obviously, and let's try and see if I'll find a hand. Just I'll pause for a moment, come back to you shortly. Okay, so this is a hand I remember being confused about during the game as to how I should have played it and whether I should have even been playing it pre-flop. So let's just go through it and see what the Wizard has to say about my play. Okay, so in the big blind we have a 9-8 offsuit, not a great hand, nevertheless possibly playable. Under the gun's folded, middle position's folded, and the cutoff has raised to 2.2. Now these sizes here are 2 raising to 2 and 2.3, which sort of almost lines up. So excuse me, what you do is you go here, under the gun's folded, hijack or middle position has folded, cutoff has raised to 2.3, but actually 2.2. The button, now this is the actions that the button should be undertaking, but let's just not worry about that for the moment. The button folds, small blind folds, and it's over to us in the big blind. You can adjust these colors to whatever you want. If it's a bit too bright for you. I think this, I might adjust them later, but for the moment, let's just go with it. So if we look here, these are the actions that are recommended that the big blind should undertake if the cutoff raises, and you're the last person to act. No one else has done anything. The purples here line up with, if you look over on the right here, the raise. So you should be raising with these hands, makes sense. And then sort of a combination of raising King Jack suited and sometimes flatting it. But more importantly, the one we want to look at is 9-8, and we click on that, and if we go down here, it says should call 11.5% of the time and fold 88% of the time. So straight away we're seeing that call, although it's not completely wrong, you probably should be folding that most of the time. However, I didn't, and otherwise we wouldn't have had this hand and the interesting spot that's about to come up. So let's click in that big blind. Well, let's see what I do. I think I called. Take my time. Come on, hurry up. Boy, that took time. Okay, so I called, and we will click on call here. And then the flop came 8 of spades, 9 of diamonds, 10 of spades. Okay, now, according to the wizard, what I should do is, with most of my holdings, or the majority of the time, I should check, which makes sense. That's pretty much GTO play in a nutshell. Out of position, check most of your hands. We have 9-8 off, and click on that. It's saying we check 98% of the time, and bet a third pot 1.5% of the time. So it looks like I got my mouse on the check button, so I assume I check, which will be the right play. And ignoring the hand on the right at the moment. This guy takes his time and he bets, I'll say 3/4 of the pot. Pause that. Okay, I check, big blind checks, and the cutoff bets, I'd say 75%. But what he should do, well, it depends on his holding, which we don't know what he has. Betting 75%, if we look at over here, in these boxes, it's bet 75%, like 3.6 of the time. The preferred action is check, which is 53% of the time with all these combos. So, however he bets, let's bet, we said about 75, sorry, 3/4, 75%. Now, what should I do? It's a big question, because this is where I got confused. I have 2 pair, but it's obviously it's a, could be a straight already. You could have Jack Queen, you could have flush draw, lots and lots of possibilities. So I wasn't sure. I was thinking between a check raise and obviously I'm not going to fold a call. So let's have a look. Did we put that in yet? Okay, so 9-8. Click on that, and it says we just call 98% of the time, and we raise 50. Oh, sorry, raised 50%, 1.7% of the time. So I think I called. So it looks like I made the right decision. I called. And the turn is an interesting Jack of Spades. So we go to big blind, and I called, which was the right play. And the turn comes the Jack of Spades, which was a scary card at the time. Possible straight flush, flushes, straights. So let's put that card in. And the big blind, what should I do? Again, we have 9/8, so we check 85% of the time. Bet a very small amount, 13% of the time. So I'm assuming I checked. Well, let's hope I check, which again, I'm happy to report is GTO. Now this guy checks back, which is good. Let's play the hand out with what's happened, but I'm going to go back and put in him actually betting that and see what I would have had to have done, but he didn't. So I checked it. He checked it. Well, let's see what he should have done. He should, yeah, looks like check here was the 67% of the time was the optimal play. So he checked it, and the river is at the 5 of hearts. The big blind, yours truly, should check 100% of the time. Let's see what happens. I do, that's good. And he checks, and I win the hand. So big blind checks, and the cutoff should check 65% with his range, but we know what he had. He had ace jack off, which is here. With that, he's checking 100% of the time anyway. Okay, so it seems like, I want to say, both players seem to play the hands pretty close to how the solver would have, without too much deviation. Let's go back to here. So I think you can go back. Oh, I'll go back to this spot. I think we can change this. Let's say he bet 50% of the pot on that turn. Oh, whoops, sorry, that was me. That's good. I check. And then the cutoff bet's 50%. Let's say he bets 75, which would have put me in a tough spot, I would think. And the preferred action is for the 9/8 is, it looks like it's about 50-50. You're at 50-50. So toss a coin on that one. Well, he didn't bet, and he shouldn't have bet. So yeah, that seems to have been played reasonably okay by both players, in my opinion. Okay, so that's the GTO Wizard in action. Hope you like it. It's very cool. This is like the tip of the iceberg for this, and it's sure is it $30-40 a month. Well worth it. And I'm going to put a link below in this video, and you get 10% off on your first purchase if you use that link. So look, I hope you're bringing a lot more of these. I think it's really good to analyze your game. You can even upload an entire session and then click a button here and it'll show you where the plays it thinks you have made that aren't plus EV. But yeah, that's all to come. I'll make some more videos later. Hope you like this one. First one I've made. I'm pretty new with the Wizard, but I'm very impressed with it. So I think you will be too. Talk to you soon.